One, here we go.
Welcome to the Hollywood Persona podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hollywood Persona, a rare episode before 1 p.m.
Just barely.
Yeah, exactly, just barely. Ant is in his, normal habitat. This is where we see you most of the time. I like those shutters where you can just go floop, floop.
They're pretty convenient, yeah.
Yes.
You know, man, shutters, the price of shutters has blown me away. Have you ever, priced them out?
No, but my dad is doing that right now.
They're like hundreds and hundreds of dollars where you're like, what the hell? Even just the drawstring one, it's
He's getting the ones like you have right there.
These are pretty nice. Pretty nice.
And they're he's got all different size windows. You know, some are smaller, some are bigger, and blah blah blah. So
yeah. So I'm in this background because I, technically kind of have been living out of my car for the last 6 weeks to 2 months.
Yeah.
Between pet sitting, friends' houses, my mom's house. Yeah. And I'm, getting ready to get into a truck and be real mobile. So it was good practice for me.
So a week at a time, right? Monday to Friday, or?
I think it's going to be multiple weeks at a time.
Wow.
2 to 3 weeks at a time straight while I'm totally gone. I mean, I could end up in Atlanta and then I'm home, but
right.
But chances are I'll drive out to, say, Las Vegas and pick something else up and bring it back here, or bring that to Memphis. Just who knows? And then every few days or every few weeks I'll get specific straight 3-4 days of off time.
And is it hard drugs that you're moving, or?
Hopefully, mostly people. Mostly people.
Perfect.
Some cocaine.
Oh my god.
No, they actually had us do a lot of truckers against trafficking seminars and all this stuff. Yeah, I was I never thought of it, but it's cool. I'm excited to start. We'll see what we'll do with this. I talked to Andrew. He of course said he asked me the other day when's the next time I can join you guys, and I'm like, dude, you might be up in the batting box.
Yeah, I'd love
soon
to record with them, and then we got Florence there that I'm sure would love to jump on. I was thinking if you and I couldn't get to do this, she'd probably love to talk about Sinners too. I even thought we should have had her on.
Yeah, man,
anyways,
we should have.
But that's okay. I'll be excited to hear her thoughts on it. And you're going to LA.
Yeah, man, I got a friend of mine did a very nice thing, and as a congrats/graduation from trucking school present, is using some credits he had to take me and him out to Los Angeles, which is a city I've never been to. I've been to many other cities in California, but never to LA. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited to go check out some of the theaters, go to the Dolby, go to the Oscars Museum, the TCL Chinese Theater, maybe one of Quentin Tarantino's, maybe an Alamo Drafthouse. We'll see how much I can get my friend who's not a movie person to go with me to do these movie stuff. If
you're listening and there's something you think Ant really has to see, let us know. If there's something that he cannot miss out on, message us on Instagram, the Hollywood Persona.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Just let us know. If you've been somewhere and you said you will not regret going here, and you're not a movie friend, will probably enjoy it too.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
So that'll be Wednesday through Saturday. So just a couple of nights.
Yeah.
You ready you want to jump into the box office with me?
Yeah. I want to hear how Sinners is dominating.
Yeah, actually, wait. Before we get to the box office, just a reminder, I'm going to try and post this right after we finish so that it's up.
Okay.
Because I think you have until tomorrow afternoon, anyone listening, if you want to play along in the summer movie wager.
Yeah, you have until Wednesday the 30th at midnight, 11:59. And we are both in it, as well as Andrew Pullman, who is your guest host. I have posted about it on our socials. You can go find the links and stuff there on Instagram.
Yep, it's just thesummermoviewager.com. Pick what movies you think will come in order as far as box office dollars. It's just for fun, and it's fun to see who did the best.
I'm going to change one thing on mine, but I think I'm going to win.
It's always fun because you just never know. I mean, you just never know. Last year, I think Inside Out was number 1 last summer.
Yes.
Then Deadpool. And it's just domestic, so it's just USA and Canada, not worldwide.
Right.
The year that Top Gun came out, like nobody saw that. Everyone had that as like maybe 5th, 6th, 7th,
Right.
8th, and that ended up being number 1 by far.
You know what I don't know what to do with is Mission Impossible. And the because of what
Because
the
of
last one did
yep.
was pretty low domestically,
But the one
and
before that
yeah,
did
blew it out of the
great.
water. And I don't know. I don't know what this one could do. Apparently, it's almost 3 hours long.
Yep.
The early things are saying it's like 2:45. So I really don't know. We know Tom Cruise can still bring people in. I don't know. I'm up
I
in the
know
air
it's a
on
tough
it.
one, but yeah. So that's thesummermoviewager.com. It's totally free, and it's just for fun.
It's just fun. Yeah, and let us know what your username is, and we will add you to our pool, and
Yeah,
we can keep track. And maybe every few episodes we'll see how everyone's
yeah,
doing.
yeah.
And
We'll check back. It
yeah,
just runs from May to August, just the
yeah.
summer, and what movies will come in order. So you mentioned Sinners at the top. Let's talk Sinners. That's what we're going to review. Just real quick, as far as box office goes, because this is significant. So it opened very well to like 42, 45 domestic, which is great for a independent R-rated movie, not from a source. So that by itself is great. And then it did the unthinkable, and we never see this. Weekend over weekend, it only dropped 6%. So it made another 40 on top of its like 45. Though I was looking this up. The last movie to do that was Heart Eyes. That dropped only like 13%, but
Okay.
that opened way lower. I mean, that
Yeah.
opened to 2 or 3 million or something. So,
Yeah.
and then the next weekend was Valentine's Day. That's why it shot up.
Right. Right.
This one is pure word of mouth. People are seeing it and love it.
And this is the like the highest grossing original horror movie in like 20 years or something.
That sounds right.
Like
It's the
it's
only other horror movie to get an A cinema score besides the
right.
original Alien back in 1980, whatever.
Of course.
Think of that. That's 50 years of movies. Cinema Score has been polling for 50 plus years.
Wow.
No
Wow.
other horror movie has gotten an A since Alien. So that just
That's
shows
crazy.
you audiences love this movie.
Yeah.
As I think both of us do, which we'll talk about in just a minute, I guess. Yeah, so its worldwide gross stands at 163, and I worked last night at the bar at my AMC, and we were just as busy selling so many tickets. People coming up, I ask, "What are you seeing?" and they say, "I just heard Sinners was good. I gotta come see it." So it did better than The Accountant 2 came out last weekend. Big property, Ben Affleck sequel. It did better than The Accountant 2's opening weekend.
Yeah.
Also crazy.
And I also said that I don't know what the statistic is, but this is like the first weekend ever, I think, that all the top 3 movies have opened at over $20 million each.
The first in a while, yeah.
In a long time, yeah. So it was Sinners, and what you just said,
Accountant 2 and Minecraft.
Minecraft movie, the top 3, all at $20 million. So I mean, and somebody said it's just indicative of our system right now. You gotta. Oh no, it wasn't The Accountant 2. It was
The religious movie?
No, the re-release of Star Wars.
Oh, yes, yes.
So you had a re-release, a sequel, Accountant 2, and an original movie. So,
About right.
yeah.
For the makeup of what we usually see at the box office. And, I mean, this is so promising because look at Mickey 17. Well-known director, original IP. That did pretty badly. So it's you just never, ever know. And so thankfully this is doing what it's doing. So why don't we jump over to it, and I can set it up. This is Ryan Coogler's fifth film
Yeah.
as director. He, of course, we all know him from Black Panther, Fruitvale Station, Black Panther 2, and Creed.
Yes.
Stars Michael B. Jordan in 2 roles, Miles Canton, Haley Steinfeld, Jack O'Connell, Delroy Lindo in an incredible performance, and a whole bunch of other ancillary characters, none of the names that I necessarily mention or think need to mention unless you want to call someone out. I would say Omar Benson Miller. He plays Cornbread, and he is very cool and fun in the movie 8 Mile. He's part of Eminem's crew.
Yes.
And
I had to look him up. Yeah.
Me too. I'm like, how do I know this guy?
Obviously, you said Wunmi Masuko.
No, I didn't.
No, she was she was a standout for me as well. But I know her from some other stuff. Like
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't recognize her.
Loki TV show. She was a big character. So
So the movie, I went into not having seen the trailer. So I was, of course, gobsmacked when the movie turns into what it does. And I guess for this review, we can show what the trailer or talk about what the trailer shows.
yeah, and then I think we can get into spoilers, and we'll just mark it in the
Yeah.
in the show notes. So
Okay, well, yeah, we'll do that.
we'll
So
mark the time.
So I think it's safe to say both of us would highly recommend it to pretty much anyone to see it before you listen to any more of this. If you don't care or you have seen it, then the movie is it's like kind of like a vampire-ish drama. It's set in Clarksdale, Mississippi. Mitch, a place I have spent the night. I've been there.
Really?
I've stayed in a former slave quarter called a shotgun shack in the middle of a cornfield. So I was even more enthralled with this. I'm like, oh my God, I've been there, Clarksdale. It's known as the home of the blues. Robert Johnson, a famous blues musician, started the blues as a music form there. It was a way for the slaves to come together and have their music, and it was invented there. And it follows Route 66. There's a whole music history lesson I could give that I don't know enough about, going from New Orleans up to Memphis to Chicago, Nashville, and through Clarksdale, Mississippi. But the movie is two twin brothers that are leaving their troubles behind them in Chicago, come back to their home in the cotton fields to discover that something has been waiting in lie for them to return. They're kind of mobbish gangsters, and they may have made some enemies. They're throwing money around, and they want to put together a juke joint, which is just the name for like a club. And they want to do it all in one night, start a club, and just live their lives out in Mississippi Delta.
And we're living in, this is a world where what's the term?
It's the Jim Crow era.
Right. So slavery is over, but there's still Jim Crow, and it's obviously things aren't great.
Still segregated.
Yeah. So the what do they call them? The Shooter Brothers, or God, that's I can't remember. This
Smoke and Stack.
Smoke and Stack. Yes. Yeah. So Smoke and Stack, and they have come from Chicago. They got all this money. They want to open this place for just their, mostly just black people. They're black people, to kind of have their own place, space, and feel like they're, and after years and years of slavery, and these guys have made money in Chicago being gangsters, and then they come back to this town where, it's still, people are still picking cotton, and there's a lot of heavy religion.
And there's still whites and blacks only businesses.
Yeah, and anything's a sin, right? Like, just going to play music is a sin at the start of the movie. So
yeah,
we're not giving anything away here. I'm just kind of the opening. The young guy, Miles Catton, I think is his name.
Yeah,
he's a newbie. He's really great. He's good.
Oh, excellent.
He's got a great singing voice. His papa don't want him to. I shouldn't do that. Jeez. His dad doesn't want him to
play that devil music.
And stuff like that. So, but then it happens. They make this juke joint. It happens very fast. The joint is up and running in 12 hours. Yeah. And looks great. But then things start to go sideways when three white folk show up, and they have some ulterior motives. But I don't know if you have anything else you want to say before we jump into spoilers.
No, before we get to spoilers, I just want to say, if it isn't obvious already, I absolutely love this movie. It's probably my favorite of the year so far. I have now seen it twice already. I saw it with my employees, and then I took two of my friends. It's not perfect. It's to me, it's 4.5 stars. There's a few tiny little nitpicks, and who am I to critique something like this? But it's just a couple scenes were too long, and a couple of pieces of dialogue stuck out to me. Aside from that, it's nearly perfect. It's a great movie. It's very creative. There are a couple like pivotal scenes that will stick with me forever. There's some great long takes.
Oh yeah.
Talking about segregation, there's a scene where the Asian mother goes across the street to the whites only area to get some supplies, and the camera follows her as she leaves the black side, goes to the white, get what she needs, and then the camera switches and follows her daughter walking back, showing us that as Asians you can switch between the two. They're allowed to be on the white side.
Yeah.
There's so much symbolism in here, of course, for racism and oppression, and but overall, to me, this movie is like a love letter to music, specifically black music.
Yeah.
And the other scene that I absolutely love is when Sammy starts to sing for the first time in the juke joint, where there's a long take where we follow him through and see some really cool
spoil that
things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you weren't going
I was just going to say, we see some really cool things that floored me, man. I was just like, oh, I was exclaiming in the theater, like, what?
I could see people hating that scene, though.
At first, I was like, oh, no.
Me too.
Oh,
no.
like,
oh, what are they doing? But then you're like, okay, I get what this is.
He pulled it off.
He pulled it off. And I could see people saying like, okay, what the hell was that? That didn't vibe for me. But
so yeah, let's jump to spoilers. I have some more to say, but not necessary. It can be on the spoilers side. So what's the time code? 16 minutes and 55 seconds.
Okay, perfect.
So the scene where we first meet Michael B. Jordan's two characters, Smoke and Stack. Yeah. They're leaning against a truck. They take the cigarette out, light it, pass it to him, because the other one has shaky hands, so the other one lights it for him.
Right.
It's done so well that I was like, wait a minute, how did they do that? Because
I know.
Normally when you would do twins, right, you do 2 takes and then you mash them together. But they're like touching and Smoke is going between the two. It was a very like Ryan Coogler flexing his muscles saying, check this shit out, right? Did you feel that?
I thought I could see, like, you know what I mean? Because it was so well done that I thought I could see through it and see the movie magic, but I couldn't. I couldn't. I feel like I was like really trying so hard to see how they did this movie magic. Because if you don't know and you're listening to the spoilers, Michael B. Jordan plays both brothers, Smoke and Stack. And it's not so much later, but in the beginning scenes, they are together a lot.
Yes. And they're interacting. And they're not. It's not just like reverse shot like we've seen, say, in the Alien Covenant. We get that, right?
Right. Yeah.
This is done way better.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, or not way better. It's just more creative, more risky. They took risks that paid off. The brothers are drawn so well. They feel like two independent people. I know Smoke. I know Stack. I know what their motivations are, what their life history has been.
Yeah.
You know, the one is dating this, is getting with this woman, this older black woman who they had a baby. You know, we're in spoilers. Had a baby. It died. That obviously took an emotional toll on them. Then the other one dated a half breed, a girl that was half white, half black, or had half black in her family. I think that's an okay word to say, right?
Is it? Okay.
I think so.
I guess Cher says it. So
I'm trying to get a point across.
I didn't know she was. I thought Haley Steinfeld was white.
Me too.
She was.
Apparently she is. I've always had a crush on her. I always think she's incredibly hot, and always wanted her to do some type of nude scene, which I know is just perverted, but it's just what it is. I think she's really gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Speaking of, this movie is sexy as hell. There's R-rated love in this movie, and it's realistic. It feels like people act in real life and talk about sex, and there's emotional tension, and you're like, man, like I really want my Sammy to get with this girl, but she says she's married. Oh, will they hook up or not?
Right.
It's real. It just felt real. It's just so realistic, and it's like this is why I love movies, man. Like this type of shit.
Exactly.
What else do you have to add in spoilers?
Oh,
how'd the vampires work for you?
So much. Oh, you know what? Jack O'Connell, I don't really know him from a whole bunch. I know he was in Skins that everybody liked. And he was in Eden Lake, which is a movie.
Yeah. He was in the Amy Winehouse movie. He was in Ferrari. But I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, he's a lot of like smaller roles that that you might not know him from, and I think the first thing, yeah,
He's in Little Fish. Have you seen that?
no, the first thing I ever saw him in was 71. It was a British thriller war movie back in 2014, and I noticed him. I thought he was really good, but he's
Man,
just
he's been
been
in a
kind
lot.
of,
I've seen him in Tulip Fever. I've seen him in Seaberg, the Kristen Stewart movie. I've seen him in the
okay.
George Clooney Money Monster. So I've seen him, and apparently he has a big role in 28 Years Later.
Yeah,
I heard someone say
and
that.
he is I
Lady
think he's
Chatterley's lover.
he's kind of like he can play young and older,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
in
He's
this
like,
movie he looks older than I've seen him, so
yes.
I didn't. Plus, they've got him makeuped up a bit, and they're doing stuff with his eyes because he's a vampire, and I liked how they did the vampires in this movie. I always have loved the vampire trope that you can't
They have to
come
be invited in.
inside, you have to be invited in. So they really worked that into this script, and I really liked it.
And I don't think they over-explain, too. I'm not, a lot
No,
of movies beat you over the head. Like, this felt, they explained it, but, like, it wasn't,
yeah,
like, I didn't feel dumb. We've talked about that before where it's like, I hate when a movie thinks I'm stupid.
yeah,
This
yeah.
this isn't like that.
And they
Since
do have. Sorry.
You go first.
Well, I was just saying they do have Wunmi's character, the lady who lost the baby, and she is into, maybe witchcraft and voodoo magic and stuff. She kind of just has that, she's a cool character because she has that background, and she does explain some things. I
Right.
don't think we would have known certain things we wouldn't have known certain things if it wasn't for her character. Which I also found interesting, but I could see people saying like, "Oh, they just put her there to, drive the plot or make the plot go in a certain way." But I liked it. I mean,
I did too, and it works, right?
yeah,
Because she gave him an amulet, before they left, and that's what she
exactly.
credits as keeping him safe.
Yep.
And he says, "Oh, but that couldn't save our baby," So like right there, we get that she's into the mystic woo woo bullshit. That
Yeah.
they had a previous relationship, that they lost a kid. Like it gives us all that in just
It
that one
all
sentence.
comes full circle too at the end with her and everything. And
Yeah,
yeah, it's very. I loved her character. I
she
like
was
that
great. You're right.
actress.
She's fantastic. I would say my favorite. It's hard to pick, but I want Delroy Lindo for supporting.
Me too.
He is incredible in this.
And he was almost got an
For the
Oscar
Five
nom
Blood.
for the Five Bloods, and I was rooting for him because I thought he did really well there too. But I was also thinking like, I mean, he, not as good as this person or this person. I did not know it was Delroy for a while. I kept
Cool.
saying to myself, "Is this Delroy? It looks like Delroy Lindo, but this seems like a small role." And he's got the gold tooth and the eye, and
And he's
but
drunk.
yeah, yeah, and he is really good, really funny, and
He's so cool. He has a line. I love the line. He says, "Man," he goes, "Man, I got socks older than this boy. What he know
yeah,
about the blues?"
yeah,
Great,
exactly,
great line.
yes.
And his character
Um,
is so understandable, right? He's a
mhm.
drunk. He gets enough corn liquor. He plays on Saturdays. That's it.
The only thing I didn't like is, and we're really getting into spoilers, right? Is his death scene was a little. I was hoping he'd take some vampires out with him, but he
I
just lets
know.
them all kind of eat them.
How did his drops of humor throughout go for you? Because this movie is a drama, a horror movie, and it has some comedic moments. And
Yes,
as Anderson have said before, directing is tone management. You got to be able
yes,
to do it right. For me, the comedy bits work. They
yeah,
like he drops a dumb line. "I think I just shit myself." I'm not usually
and
a big fan of poop humor, but it it
no,
it worked, I think.
at the right moment, because the tension in this movie is so high at most parts. When something like that gets said, it really kind of makes you laugh and helps break that tension. So
Yes,
I think stuff like that has to be said in the right moment at the right time. If
by the
you're gonna
right
do like a
character.
silly, dumb joke like that, like you expect Adam Sandler to say it in an Adam Sandler movie, but in this, you're like, okay, geez, like, yeah, you're right. I would have shit my pants too.
Yeah, man. The all the accents were great. Everyone to me sounded southern.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know,
man.
and I usually pick those out because I hear Southern accents a lot here, and they did a great job. Yeah, the
Hey,
Sammy for being his first role, he's
yeah.
incredible. The main character of this movie, great
I've been
voice.
And you know what we need to talk about is the fucking soundtrack and the score. I've been listening to the soundtrack. I've been listening to
Same.
the score.
I have the
Just
soundtrack in my playlist. I've listened to it
yes.
several times. I've played it on a hike. I played it in
Yeah.
my car this morning.
And I
This,
go
yeah.
between. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say the two songs that I love the most is "Traveling" when he first gets
Yes.
in the car,
When
and
he
then
yeah.
the other one where he does that incredible shot with the history of black music. Those two songs.
Yes. Yes. And I also like his duet with the other girl.
Yes,
That I've been listening to that one as well. And then I'm going
that's
back to
Jamie
something.
Lawson.
Jamie Lawson.
She
Thank you.
plays Pearl.
I haven't seen her in a lot, but apparently she was in the Batman.
Yeah, so she was in the Batman, The Woman King, which, man, I wish The Woman King had gotten seen more. She was in Till, a
Yeah.
devastating movie to watch about Emmett Till.
Yes.
And How to Blow Up a Pipeline, which I've seen too. So I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of her movies.
Huh.
How about
I
that?
have two. I've seen all those except for Till.
Jack
And
O'Connell, the Irishman. He is a great. Every
villain.
decision is made well. The Irish were discriminated against back in those days.
Yeah, I didn't. Okay, you're right.
They
I
were.
didn't.
The Irish were looked down upon. I mean, you basically had to be Protestant white, and that was it. Or the
Yeah.
Italians were discriminated against, the Irish. So, it could have been just a white character, but he specifically picked Irish, and I think that has it's poignant. The Asian couple, we talked about them. They didn't have Asian accents. They had American accents. They were from here. They were born and raised here. So, an Asian critic I listened to said he liked to hear that. He says, he's used to seeing Asians portrayed in movies with the Ching Chong Asian accent, which
Right.
he finds offensive. I don't care. But
Right.
it was notable where he was like, oh, I love seeing an American Asian family because that's the family he comes from. I thought that was cool. And they were
I like
equals. They were, they were equals. They were
Yes.
treated equally amongst them.
I guess
Yeah.
I understand that Irish because when he shows up at the door of those two clan members who later become vampires and play
Yes.
his side, they want nothing to do with him at first. So I guess that makes sense as to why they wouldn't want anything to do with him. Not only obviously because he looks
Right,
like he's
right.
been run
But
down.
partially, yeah. Who's this Irish fool?
Yeah, and those other two who played their parts really well too. When the three of them show up at the door of the juke joint, they're creepy. Like, and she's just standing there playing her guitar, and the song they pick,
Mm-hmm.
and everything. It's so creepy that like I can understand why everyone else is like don't want to let them in because I wouldn't. Holy fuck, were they just right out of some sort of Catholic, like weird, like VHS you would find.
Yeah.
Let's all sing to Jesus now.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So, and another thing I love about the movie is the vampires have a good pitch, meaning they make what they're selling kind of appealing. They're selling to our vampiric characters, come join us. We will live in unity. Asian, black, white, Irish.
Right.
They're selling the utopia. We'll have
Right.
all the music we want. We can play so they're like, it's kind of, I'm watching like, I might join them. Like, yeah, do I really need the sun? Like, could I go without the sun, live for eternity? And when Haley Steinfeld gets killed, she's like, come join us, babe. Like, come be with me. So I like that. We always talk about, we like when movies have good villains or compelling villains or, like Thanos is like, you can kind of see where he's coming from. Black Panther, you can see where Killmonger is coming from, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like that too.
I mean, let's get into our nitpicks because the one that I had a problem with was the one that all movies like this kind of do, and it's the end scene where the vampire is gonna kill the guy, and he keeps saying a speech.
But yeah, when they're in the
talking.
water.
Yeah, and he's talking and talking, and then he gets killed because he's talking, and it just felt like that's the only thing in the movie that I really had a problem with. there was something else, but
My problem is the epilogue. I think that should have been a little shorter. So the movie ends with Smoke going to see Sammy. The adult Sammy is played by legendary jazz blues musician Buddy Guy. He goes to his place in Chicago. I have been there too with my Uncle
that
Paul.
is his actual place.
Yes,
Oh, that's cool.
it's a jazz
Okay.
bar in Chicago. I've been there twice at least.
Nice.
And he still plays there at 70, 80 years old. So Sammy is now Buddy Guy. He decided to stick with the music anyway. And Smoke had made a promise to Stack not to kill him before he killed Smoke. Like before Smoke killed Stack, he said, "Don't, leave Sammy alone, and I will let you kill me." Something like that. We don't get to see their agreement, but we learn about it. My nitpick is scene was a little too long. Buddy Guy obviously isn't an actor, so he was a little bit out of his depth there.
I thought he was okay.
You did. I was like, the second time around, I thought, let's tighten this up. Like, come on. So yeah, that's a nitpick I had. And then just the train station when they go to meet Delroy Lindo. What's his name in the movie? Delta Slim.
Okay. Yeah.
When they meet him, I thought the train station looked a lot like a set. That's a very small nitpick. It was a set. It just, but it stood out to me. I saw this in Dolby and IMAX. Once in Dolby, once in IMAX, and the Dolby really showed it. You just see this crisp edges. It looked so brand new, like it was just built or something. Again, who cares? It doesn't matter. But that's really it. I just the length of the movie, the editing, shortening down the epilogue. And yeah, the villain speech, like, again, if they could have cut just a few minutes out of here somewhere, it would be a perfect movie. But for me, it's 4.5 out of 5. Probably my favorite movie this year so far. I can't see a world where this won't end up in my top 10. And it seems like this is going to get some Oscar recognition, maybe below the line, probably not above the line. But look, we had Coda came out early in the year.
Yeah.
Everything Everywhere All at Once came out in like March or April.
Yeah.
And something else. There was a third I thought of recently.
Well, what about The Substance? Didn't it?
The Substance came out in like May or something.
And
so
it was horror.
There's precedent. This could carry, and it's deserving.
Yeah, it is very deserving. I think I'd love to see Michael B. Jordan up. Steinfeld could, she even Catton. I mean, and then Delroy. I don't know if any of them. This is a 5-star movie for me. I think even in the future, I could see you saying going back and forgetting those little nitpicks.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna bump it up to 5.
I could see you in the future just being like,
what more do I need?
That's my thing, though. I don't when Stack and Mary visit Sammy in the joint, in Buddy Guy's joint. When they're leaving, it looks like it's daytime.
I did see that.
So, are they leaving to die, or?
Don't know. I did notice that.
I love the 90s vibe they're going with. I can almost see a sequel, but I don't want a sequel really, but with a sequel with them too, where they're vibing in the 90s or something.
Yeah, living their vampire life and killing people. Yeah. The cool thing, I'm sure you heard about this deal, and then we can move on. Not Michael B. Jordan. Ryan Coogler got a great deal. Not many other filmmakers get, where the film rights revert back to him in 25 years. That's basically unheard of. So, if he still has control of it, then I could see him wanting to make a spin-off, a sequel, another, something, a series,
a remake in 25 years.
Yeah. So no, go out and see it. If you listen to this and you're spoiled, it's still good. Go out and see it. Yeah. When that vampire raised up. She turns away, or the first time someone turns away and the vampire leaps into the air, I was like, oh my God. I knew there was some evil something, because I'd seen, of course, bits and pieces of this, but I hadn't seen the trailer, and man, it paid off this time.
So the commercials don't show you vampires at all. The trailers say nothing about it. I didn't know it was vampires. I thought it was some sort of evil voodoo magic.
Cool. Okay,
something.
Good.
But the day I was going to see it, Variety posted an article, and the tagline was something like "Vampires in the new movie Sinners," and I'm like, "Fuck!" I almost
Oh man!
I was a few hours away from not being spoiled, and I would have known it wasn't vampires.
Well, and
But
obviously this can be easily compared to Dusk Till Dawn. From
yes,
Dusk Till
yes,
Dawn.
which I just watched for the first time.
Oh, nice.
And you want because my friend about 3 weeks ago she wanted to do top 5 vampires on the Film Vultures, which I
Ah.
recorded the other day. And let's just say Sinners may or may not make that list. So, anyways, I just there was one other thing I wanted to say, but the opening is literally 45 minutes of getting to know
Yes.
the characters, the land, the where they live, the territory, the people, and hearing their stories, and I wasn't bored for a second. It was so rich, and then including that, and then everything. If the movie felt like an epic almost, like that we don't get anymore, like because it was like a World War, like a Saving Private Ryan almost, where you just get like a big beginning, big middle, big end. It was just it's a spectacle, and
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. So,
I bet
anyways,
like another studio movie like this would probably have wanted to introduce the vampire stuff early on, but we don't get
yes,
that until
yes,
halfway or 2/3.
yes,
You know,
exactly.
with the opening scene is Sammy coming into the church with a broken guitar. You tell he's traumatized in some way,
Yeah,
but that's
but
all we know.
we have no idea. Anyways, sorry about that. What was the one you want to talk about next?
Let's do the one that we've both seen that you just talked about, or that you just saw that was it not dropped?
Locked.
Yeah, Locked.
Yeah, so you talked about it a little bit last week. This is
Yeah, what'd you
Anthony
think?
Hopkins and Bill Skarsgård. Basically, Bill Skarsgård's character is really down on his luck, and he gets locked in a car by Anthony Hopkins, who has had his car broken into way too many times. So he is like basically laid a trap
Trap. Yep.
for someone like Bill Skarsgård, not for him. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 3.5. I think it's a great sequel to Lock. Which I said in my review, but it's actually not a sequel. But
Right.
Skarsgård is great. I wish he was in bigger roles where he could get nominated. He's not going to get nominated for this. But I feel like this is a very like phone booth type of movie or
Yeah.
Saw. It's a lot like Saw, but it's like one person basically. Yeah, it's and it being two men. Usually it's a female in this kind of trouble and a man, being the oppressor
The
or the
compressor. Yeah.
villain or something. So I did really enjoy this. This is a good little tense thriller. You got to understand it's basically just him in a car for the whole movie, and it's mostly Anthony Hopkins' just voice. So
Yep.
don't go in expecting like them running around New York or something, but there is some good payoff, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like this a lot too. Like it's a very tight, contained, fun thriller. It's 95 minutes or so. Good acting, good use of technology,
Yeah.
with what you can do to torment someone inside a car.
Yeah,
Of course, it's not an Oscar. It's not a like, you have to see it. But if you need a flight, or if you need a movie for a flight, or
Yeah.
you need a movie that everyone in the family can sit down and watch on Sunday, totally fine. It's probably rated R, but for maybe blood or
for
whatever.
swearing and a little
Swearing.
bit of blood and stuff, but I it's tense and it's not perfect, but it's good. So
Yeah, it's really cool. And I think the director, he did Brightburn, which I liked more than most people. That was the like What If Superman Was Bad movie.
right. Brightburn. Yeah, it was okay.
You remember that one? Yeah, it's fine. I just wanted to mention him. That's who he is.
Yes.
I think Brightburn should have gone harder. Like if Superman was actually evil instead of a
I
nice
think so
kid.
too. Yeah.
To make that better, he should have done like a lot of worse things. But
See,
yeah.
I hated Brightburn, but I loved this director for Chronicle.
Oh, I haven't seen Chronicle.
Which was his first movie, and it was like when it came out, it was like an indie.
Yes.
And so it was really kind of new and something new for us. So yeah, so Lock, check it out. It's on VOD now. It's not streaming anywhere yet, but
it will be soon, I bet.
Yeah, it will be. Someone
Wait, he did Chronicle?
Yeah.
Where is that on his? I don't see that on Letterboxd.
The director?
Yeah, David Yarovesky.
Oh, I could have. I would have bet money that it was Brightburn.
It doesn't matter, but I think you might have gotten mixed up, maybe.
I might have.
Because
Oh,
Chronicle was. Oh, Josh Trank. That's the Fantastic Four guy.
right. Okay, sorry, I got a little
It's all
mixed
good.
up there. Okay,
It's all good. Yeah, so that's locked. It's great. It's worth a watch.
it is. You are gonna talk. Sorry, we didn't really. I didn't remember what you're gonna talk about. What's your
No, that's
next?
okay. I guess I was just gonna mention. So I guess I'll just mention the Shrouds and the Ugly Stepsister together. So the
Okay.
Shrouds is the David Cronenberg new movie.
Yep.
People know that name. Of course, he's famous for The Fly, Videodrome, Crash. He's the one that made Eastern Promises, History of Violence, on and on and on. He makes like pretty messed up horror movies.
Yes.
So it's this
Canadian.
movie. Canadian, yes, very Canadian. Has kids who are filmmakers as well. Possessor was made by
Brandon
his son.
Cronenberg and his daughter. I don't know.
It has Vincent Cassel, Diane Kruger, and Guy Pearce, and Sandra Holt. It's a cool techno thriller. It's kind of like, what was the Cronenberg movie where you didn't feel pain anymore, so you could cut yourself open with Viggo Mortensen? Crimes of the Future.
Crimes of the Future. Yes. God, I forgot. That movie is out of my brain. I don't.
It's
remember
kind
a
of like
single
Crimes
thing.
of the Future in a couple of ways. Yeah, it's like when you die, you wear this sheath around you in the casket, and so that your family can watch you decompose on an LED screen above your gravestone, which sounds crazy, but the way they explain it in the movie makes it be like, oh, okay, I guess I could get peace out of knowing my mother is going back to the earth, maybe. Like, they make it seem like a sound and good idea. So
Sorry, I was making a coffee.
that's all right.
I have actually weirdly, in a weird way, thought about that with my mom. Like, like
It's
really, it's a
it's
fucked up way, but
reasonable.
I'm like, my mom is decomposing
Going
in
back
the
to the earth.
ground, going back into the earth, and it's the first time I've ever thought about it in my life because it's someone I really love and care about.
Yeah,
So it's a thought process in my head, and that I don't linger on it, but it's definitely something that I have thought of. So
exactly. And
maybe
that's
it's not
like,
too weird.
it's not. It's really not as weird as it sounds. And again, in the way for him, the main character, it's his wife who died of cancer, like unfortunately early young. He thinks of it as a way to keep connected with her and all this. And so it's an interesting idea. And however people want to process their dead, don't let me stop you. There's all kinds of different burials. There's one where it's called a sky burial. It's a ceremonial thing where the ground they live on is rocky, so they can't bury their dead. So there's a guy, I saw this on a series on HBO called Taboo. A guy fillets out a dead person and lets the vultures and birds come and get them. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
So
I have there's a song I really love called Graveyard, I think, and I would love or Wolves, it's called Wolves, and they say like let the wolves come and pick my body clean, and I always think like that would be such an interesting way to just give back to nature. Like
the
here's my body.
I agree with you, and the coolest way that I guess once I'm dead, I won't know what anyone does with my body,
Right.
so I don't
Right.
care. But if anyone wants to do what I would like, there's these things called pods where they put you in like a sack
Yeah.
under a tree. They plant the tree, and then your body, kind of like from Furiosa, a Mad Max story or saga.
Right. Yeah.
Um, your body just becomes the fertilizer for that tree to grow, and then every time someone sees that tree, they think, "Oh, Anthony's buried under there. His nutrients went back into that tree." I think that's really cool.
I think so too. That's
So the
really
other one I
cool.
want to
Yeah.
briefly, so it's good, it's decent, it's fine, it's body horror, 3.5 stars. Brandon Cronenberg. It's called The Shrouds,
Good. I'm
and the
excited
shroud
for
is
it.
in reference to the garment that they wear. The other one is The Ugly Stepsister. I just want to mention this real quick. It's Norwegian, and I was hoping it would be this year's The Substance. It's basically a retelling of Cinderella. It is body horrific. This girl tries to mutilate her body to make herself look pretty, which of course gives her short-term gains, but long-term, terrible things happen. And it's set back in the 1700s or so, so the technology they have is not great.
Right.
Tapeworms, she just wants to eat tapeworms. She wants to break her nose with a hammer. So it's like it's brutal.
Okay.
Well acted. It's kind of cute, and it was interesting. It's good. It's called The Ugly Stepsister. It's 3.5 stars. I would rate it. If you're up for something like that, Mitch, I can totally see you watching this. I'm sure.
I will for sure. It
Yeah.
wasn't playing anywhere near me.
No, this was hard to see.
I thought it was going to be a VOD kind of thing because I thought it was one of those like Mickey Mouse horror.
Oh yeah.
Or, like Cinderella Goes Blind.
No, it's got some real production value behind it.
Okay.
And I think it's in English, but they have Norwegian accents. So yeah, it's cool. It's called The Ugly Stepsister. When it comes to streaming, check it out.
Well,
what you got?
Speaking of what I just brought up, I will be talking about the third movie in. It is the third movie in the Twisted Childhood universe. That's right. The third movie after Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. We have Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Peter Pan.
Why? Why?
Because I'm invested and I knew you'd be so mad.
Look, I want you to enjoy these. Just don't make me.
This is the best one of them.
Really?
For sure.
Wait, what's it called? I want to pull it up. Peter Pan?
Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare.
I do remember when this was playing, but man.
Was it playing?
I think it was.
Basically, we got like Wendy and her brothers, and one of her brothers gets taken by Peter Pan. Peter Pan, and they don't really like say he is, but he's basically like he takes children and
they make.
I think he's a child molester.
Okay. And they meet a twisted version of Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell is a
Twinkerbell.
Well, yeah. I mean, he is Peter Pan's transgender boyfriend.
Oh, really? So it is Twinkerbell.
Yeah, he wears like a wig, and they have vials of heroin, but they put pixie dust on the side, and Tinkerbell gets the pixie dust for Pan. Hook does have a part in this, but it's way. It's gonna be, I think, in future movies we're gonna see Hook because yeah. Anyways, it's like the kid gets taken. It's kind of like a let's try to find the kid movie. There's some very brutal stuff in this movie. It reminded me a lot of like Terrifier almost level stuff. So I could see horror fans actually liking this. And it's a little more grounded in reality.
It sounds like it has a little more production values than that first Winnie the Pooh.
Definitely, and I'm not saying this is good. I'm a horror movie fan. So I gave it 2.5 stars. I mean, I'm not gonna recommend it to anybody who's not a horror fan, and 2.5 stars is probably very generous.
Right.
But I'm just gonna keep up with this and see how awful it gets or whatever. But this one wasn't that bad.
How are the makeup and special effects?
Good. I mean, good. There's not really any like special effects. It's just like all the practical and the blood.
Makeup.
And he gets some wild scars in the opening scene that really I was kind of like, whoa, wow, that was wild.
I might check this out. I think I've said this before to you. I like when a movie has the guts to mess with children. I know because it's taboo. We're not supposed to do it. It's not cool. But Terrifier does that. And again, of course, I don't want kids to hurt in real life. That's awful. But it can be funny on screen to see a kid get killed. I don't know what to say.
It's icky, but they pull away from a lot of stuff. Like you get what's going on. But like you don't have to see it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like they don't bludgeon you over the head with like awful stuff. Anyways,
Where's it set? Where is it set? Is it English?
Yeah, it is. It's set in America, but they're a British family.
Okay, yeah, because I'm watching the trailer on my other screen, and I saw
Yeah.
he uses a zip line to initially get the kid off the bike,
Yeah.
throws him on his back, and then this looked like a British bus driver comes up to him while he's fixing his car.
It must be in Britain, I guess. Yeah, it is. Sorry, I don't know because they're all British but it seems very Americanized.
Okay.
So.
All right. So that's Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare.
Yeah,
2.5 stars.
Stupid name.
And it's part of the Pooniverse.
Actually, they changed it and calling it the Twisted Childhood Universe.
I like Pooniverse better.
The TCU, they call it. That's what they're calling it, the TCU.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure you'll be able to use that acronym with a lot of people, and they'll know exactly what you're talking about.
For sure. So we got this movie. It's called It Feeds. It is a 2025 horror movie. It's Ashley Greene. And Sean Ashmore are basically the only actors you might know. Juno Rinaldi and Julian Richings are in this as well. I bring up Juno Rinaldi because she plays a fun comedic character in this movie.
Ashley Greene was recently in another horror movie.
Was she?
That I saw recently, 2023, Some Other Woman. Not a good movie, but it seems like she found her niche, you know?
Yeah, kind of like oh, no, I can't remember the one who did who does all the horror movies. She's cute and she did the Halloween movies, whatever.
Okay.
So anyway, this movie goes in places that I didn't expect it.
Okay.
So that's why I'm bringing this up.
Clairvoyant therapist confronts her own personal demons while trying to save a young girl who believes a malevolent entity is feeding on her.
Yeah, and doesn't that just sound run of the mill?
Pretty vague, yeah.
It does remind me a lot of Insidious in parts. I got an Insidious vibe right from the beginning, but about in the middle of this movie, it takes a complete left turn, and then and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars. It is coming to my local theater in a few weeks at Landmark.
Damn, really?
The director is from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, which is outside of Toronto. And I actually posted my brief review from Letterboxd on our Instagram page, and he reposted it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
look at us. Cool. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so I don't love the poster. I think
yeah, the poster looks pretty generic. It looks like it's streaming already. Yeah,
you can see it at home. It's making its way around Canada in local theaters and in the States. But I really enjoyed where this went because I wasn't expecting it to go where it went. And I can't say anything because it would spoil the whole thing. And there's just some fun with some characters and we don't need this huge explanation from Ashley Greene's character why she can see this, why she's the only one that can do this. I don't know. It just it treats the movie. It treats the audience like it's not stupid, like you like. So anyways, that is It Feeds. I've got nothing else to talk about, but I don't know.
No, not really. We can get to them when you see these. The Legend of Ochi, A24's new movie with Willem Dafoe. On Swift Horses, which has all the hot people in it. Jacob Elordi, Will Poulter, that girl, Daisy Edgar Jones.
Yes. Is Ochi better than Death of a Unicorn? Or
yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
But it's different. Legend of Ochi is an E.T. movie. It's E.T. but in today.
That's the vibe I kind of got.
Yeah. And then The Accountant 2. People are liking it. It didn't work for me. We can talk about it when and if you eventually get to it.
Okay.
And Drop. I do want to talk Drop once you see that one. So no, I don't have any other movies to talk about. And it looks like we're right about an hour, so it's perfect timing.
I have to go, and it looks like a good time, so we can ignore what your friends are saying in
But
the.
yeah, one of those comments was me. I don't know who the others are.
Oh no, no! If you look at the other ones down below,
But
yeah.
yeah, that's definitely probably someone from my corner.
I was guessing one of them's just named Ants, but
That one's me.
oh,
Yeah.
it is? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. All right, everyone. Summer movie box office or summer movie wager. Sorry, you can join us there. Ant will add the link below, and he will add the time of when we started.
16:55.
16:55 when we started spoilers. And yeah, usually you can just skip ahead like 30 seconds and see if we're still talking.
Yeah, that's kind of how I
what
do it. But yeah, I'll put it in the notes now that I remember it.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, we'll be in touch soon.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Good luck at your first week there.
Thank you.
And yeah.
Hit me with the outro, and good luck with your appointment.
Thank you. Outro. Yes. God, I'm horrible at this.
I'm waiting to nod my head.
I know you are.
You can find us on Instagram.
You little shithead.
Okay, we'll talk to you later.
Hit the live, go off live, I guess.
Oh, yeah.